I can't think of the first time I got a no because the no's are so frequent. You have to just get comfortable with like repeat no's, right? Like getting that consistency of no's and saying like, okay, I'm back on the horse. I'm going to survive this, I'm going to. But I'll tell you, the first time I went out and started fundraising was a giant challenge for me. I didn't feel like I was good at it. I felt like I was good at running the business. And I think the fear of getting a no made me not even able to ask, which I've learned as I've kind of evolved in this business, is that the fear of asking, and so you like protect yourself from getting a no, is actually way worse than just ripping off the Band-Aid and getting that no. And so switching your mindset to saying, hey, actually, I want to get a no because I know that for every, 5 no's, there's 1 yes in the world. Then getting no's starts to become fun, right? You're like, I'm closer to a success. So it's been a lot of reframing rejection in my mind over the course of, a couple years of business. As an entrepreneur, your job is to be introspective, and you are not a good founder or CEO unless you can, take a hard look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I have to move the ball forward. There are no other options other than moving the ball forward. And, if you are the problem in that, like you need to also be the solution in that. So it's like cut to the chase already, like get there. And then you learn to waste a lot less time, right? Because obviously in a very nice way, and you have to foster relationships, and there's a whole lot of fundraising that I'm kind of glossing over in this point. But, there's a get to the bottom line and put yourself on the line so that you're not spending time spinning your wheels in your company. The best thing that ever happened to me was I got fired. And so that was a big no, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I just got fired. Like, wait a second. I know I'm smart. I know I'm capable. I know that, there were a whole lot of factors in why that didn't work out. But it's so scary to get fired, right? You're like, wait a second. I'm a capable person. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it forced me to say, okay, now's the time. Either you're going to start this business or you're going to go look for a job. Like those are your 2 options. And so I still look back on it, and it was the best no that ever happened in my life. It's really scary. Like there's no way to deny that, right? And the buck stops at you. That's the end of the day result, right? There's no finger to point. There's no one to blame. If you're a CEO that feels like you can blame other people if the company fails, like I think you're a bad CEO from the start, right? Because you should be watching. And so that's a huge burden to take on, but an important one. Not ignoring the scary things is really important, right? Don't avoid rejection, get rejected and move on and look at the scary stuff, because in the end, it makes you a better business and a sustainable business. We want to grow and be a business that's sustainable and, can continue to grow over time and all of those things, which requires you to be constantly every single day looking at the business and improving it. People say to me, oh my gosh, my calendar's so crazy. I can't fit anything into it. And that's a failure as a founder or a CEO, because you need time to think and time to kind of be introspective about the business, to say, hey, one of my team members brought this thing to my attention. I need to think about how it fits into our strategy and think about, if it has an impact on our strategy or if it doesn't, and being really intentional about that. So I think for me, it's habitual at this point, right? Like you get rejected so many times that you become okay with it, because also you know that what you're doing has meaning, right? So for me, I wake up every day thinking about how do I help women launch businesses? And that's exciting for me. And like, it feels like a privilege that I get to focus my time, energy, brain power on every single day. And so finding that thing that really gets you up in the morning, like I get up in the morning for the 400 women that want a change and they want something that is their own. And if I can help them successfully build that, then I know that I'm adding value to the world. It's really important to realize that life continues to change and evolve. And so any kind of state that you're in changes, right? And changes relatively quickly. So if you feel stuck in a business problem, or you feel like, oh my gosh, when's the next shoe going to drop? How am I going to get to the next stage? Like, as long as you're putting in effort, eventually things shift. And so it's directly correlated to your input and effort that makes success happen. You don't need the answers.